Whenever you.
All right.
Here we go.
Good morning, everyone. The meeting of the Rhode Island Ethics Commission for Tuesday, October 17th, 2023 will come to order. The first item is a motion to approve the minutes of the open session held on September 12th, 2023. Do we have a motion? So moved by Commissioner Jones. Is there a second? Moved by Commissioner Susie. I'll roll call vote. Commissioner Jones?
Aye.
Commissioner Susie?
Aye.
Commissioner Centerini?
Aye.
Commissioner Peterson?
Abstain.
Commissioner Ritchie?
Aye.
Commissioner Strauss?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Okay. Next item is director's report.
Good morning. We have a full agenda today, so I'm going to try and keep it nice and short for the director's report. I'm sure everyone will be happy with. I'll first just mention for anyone who's tuning in by a live stream, we are live streaming. The meeting materials are available on the website, so feel free to go on our website and look at them, download them, and print them. The live stream is for the open session of our meeting today, and when we go into executive session, that meeting will close until we finish executive session business. Then we'll reopen that same meeting when we finish, and there will be a report out of any votes that were taken in executive session. Later today, we'll also put on our website a written report out of any actions that were taken in executive session. And so I think that handles that. Under the director's report, under complaints and investigations, we currently have 10 complaints pending. We've got 6 of them on the agenda today for 60-day extension and a couple of initial determinations. We have 2 financial disclosure complaints remaining. We did settle one of the financial disclosure complaints under the schedule that the commission has previously approved if someone agreed to file their statement within 2 weeks of receiving notice of the complaint and paid $100 civil penalty. So one of those settled that way. Regarding advisory opinions, we have 12 advisory opinions pending. We have 6 on today's agenda. That's about the normal amount. Regarding APRA requests, we had 7 requests for public records since the last meeting. We fulfilled all 7 of them within 1 business day, which we always attempt to do, although we have 10 days to do so. Of those 7, 5 related to complaint matters, complaint materials, and 2 related to commission meeting materials. And then finally, financial disclosure. I don't really have anything new to report. We're down to the 2 non-filers. We have 4,321 filings for this calendar year, and we're working on the following filing season. That's about all I have to report. So happy to answer any questions you have.
I think I heard you beforehand speaking about a new commissioner being potentially coming our way.
We hope. So we're up to 7. There are 2 vacancies, one that the governor appoints directly, one from the House Minority Leader. I did speak with the governor's office yesterday, and they have a couple of good candidates that they are in the process of vetting, and they were hopeful. So I'm hopeful that maybe by the next meeting, or certainly within a month or so, we might have at least our 8th commissioner, and then maybe by the end of the year, we could be up to 50.
Excellent. Thank you. Any questions? Is there a sign-in sheet?
Yes.
So the next item is advisory opinions, and the first person to sign in is Cynthia Clinton.
Morning, commissioners.
Morning.
Morning. Morning. This draft is in the top B in your binders. Ms. Coyne was a legislator who served in the Rhode Island Senate until January 3rd of 2023. Currently, she is the executive director of the Senior Agenda Coalition of Rhode Island. This is a nonprofit entity whose mission is to improve the quality of life of older adult Rhode Islanders. The coalition does not directly provide services. However, it offers education and information on services that are available to those Rhode Islanders either in the municipal or state level or through any private organizations. She requests an advisory opinion regarding whether she is prohibited by the Code of Ethics from serving prior to the expiration of 1 year after leaving legislative service on a special legislative commission that was recently created by the Rhode Island House of Representatives. The study commission is comprised of 16 members. One of the members is specifically listed as the director of the coalition or his or her designee. The purpose of the study commission is to make a comprehensive study of any services that are available to older adult Rhode Islanders and make recommendation to improve those services or new services or to provide any programs to improve the well-being of those Rhode Islanders. The specific responsibilities of the study commission are listed on pages 2 and 3 of the draft. Ms. Coyne states that although she will be part of the study commission because of her role as the executive director of the coalition, she would not be representing the interests or lobbying on behalf of the coalition. Rather, she would be sharing knowledge and information she has gained as an executive director of the coalition and help to achieve the mission of the study commission. Under the code, a public official is prohibited from representing herself or representing another person before their former agency for 1 year after leaving that agency. And the person is representing herself or others if she is presenting evidence or arguments for the purpose of influencing the judgment of that agency in her own favor or in favor of that other person. Some examples are listed on pages 3 and 4 of the draft. Here, based on all of the facts that are presented, the relevant provisions of the Code of Ethics and the prior advisory opinions issued, it is the opinion of the staff that the petitioner's participation on the study commission would not constitute representation as that term is defined under the code. Therefore, she is not prohibited from being part of the study commission prior to the expiration of 1 year after leaving service. The petitioner is advised, however, to remain vigilant if any matters come up before the study commission that may directly financially impact her or the coalition, or may be perceived or be a representation of the coalition before the commission. She needs to recuse on that point. Thank you. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Thank you. Ms. Coyne, you've heard the staff's recommendation and analysis. Do you have any comments or questions?
No, I just thank you for your time for, reaching out to me and asking me some questions and answering the advisory opinion. I appreciate your time. I have no questions.
Great, thank you. Any questions from the commission? I'm curious, how do you make the distinction between providing information versus lobbying, versus advocating for it?
So I reviewed all the facts. I read through the resolution that was issued and all the responsibilities of the study commission. So the coalition doesn't receive any grants from the General Assembly. The coalition also does not provide any particular services. They just provide the information in regards to those services, so all the Rhode Islanders can be informed of those services that are available.
Which I totally support.
Where the study commission will review all those services available and make a recommendation to the General Assembly or to the House as to those services, whether those services need to be improved and what other programs can be put in place to improve the well-being of those Rhode Islanders. So she is not really advocating for anything to be provided to the coalition. She's advocating for the well-being and for the improvement of the well-being of the older Rhode Islanders.
Okay.
If that
makes sense. Thank you. All right, is there a motion to accept the staff's recommendation?
Second.
It's moved by Commissioner Centarini and seconded by Vice Chair Jones. A roll call vote. Commissioner Jones?
Aye.
Commissioner Strauss?
Aye.
Commissioner Severino?
Aye.
Commissioner Peterson?
Aye.
Commissioner Susie?
Aye.
Commissioner Richmond?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Great, thank you very much.
Thank you for your time. I
Good
appreciate
luck.
it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the next sign-in is Robert Shaw Jr. Morning, Mr. Shaw.
Good morning, everyone. The draft for this commission, for this petitioner is at tab 3 in your binders. Welcome, Mr. Shaw. Our petitioner is a member of the Cumberland Town Council. He is asking whether his simultaneous service as the interim president and registrar for the Cumberland Youth Soccer Association, a nonprofit organization, constitutes an inherent conflict of interest under the Code of Ethics. It is the opinion of staff that it does not, and here's why. The petitioner is a business associate of the Soccer Association because of his leadership roles with that organization. That in and of itself does not constitute a violation of the Code of Ethics. The Soccer Association's request to use the town fields, as well as the payment of fees associated with that use, is made by the Soccer Association's field director to the town's recreation department, not to the town council. And the petitioner is not involved in that process. Given the facts as represented, the petitioner is not acting in his official capacity as a member of the town council in any manner that would financially impact the Soccer Association, nor is the petitioner representing the interests of the Soccer Association before the town council. The petitioner is advised that he may not participate in any town council matter that will directly financially impact the Soccer Association. Also, he may not represent himself or the Soccer Association before the town council or the recreation director over which the town council has appointing authority. Further, the petitioner must recuse from participating in any town council matter where the Soccer Association or its representative appears to present evidence or arguments. Based on the facts as represented, none of these scenarios seem likely. Mr. Shaw is indeed invited to seek further guidance from the Ethics Commission as warranted. I'm happy to answer any questions or to defer to Mr. Shore as appropriate.
Great. Mr. Shaw, you've heard the stats analysis. Any questions, comments, additions?
None at this time, members. Thank you.
Any questions from the commission? Yes.
I have a question for the staff person. You used the word that he had to be careful that things will affect his business associate, but isn't it really could affect? It's coming before the commission, before his body. He has to recuse, doesn't he, if there's potential?
Yes, if it's reasonably
Okay.
foreseeable.
Okay.
Yes, that is
That's
more
what I'm
accurate.
sure.
Thank you.
Sure, we're all on the same page on that.
Absolutely.
Is there a motion to support the staff's recommendation?
So
Second. Second. It's moved by Commissioner Ritchie and seconded by Commissioner Susie. Roll call vote. Commissioner Jones?
Aye.
Commissioner Strauss?
Aye.
Commissioner Senarini?
Aye.
Commissioner Peterson?
Aye.
Commissioner Susie?
Aye.
Commissioner Ritchie?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Great, thank you so much.
Thank you for your time, members. Thank you.
The next sign-in is Leroy Kendricks.
Yep.
Good morning.
The draft for this petitioner is at tab F in your binders.
Nice to see you all.
I did. Not Leroy. The petitioner is Mark Nimrosky.
Okay, sorry.
Oh, it's at Rossi.
Yes.
I totally missed that.
I'm
That's
sorry.
the sign.
The sign-in. By the
I
sign-in.
was in my own world. Sorry. Welcome, Jen.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Our petitioner is a member of the Tiverton Wastewater District Board of Directors. He's asking whether he may accept an offer of employment by the board to become the executive director of the Tiverton Wastewater District. Regulation 1.5.1 of the code prohibits an elected or appointed official from accepting any appointment that requires approval by the body of which he is a member to any position which carries with it financial benefit or remuneration until the expiration of 1 year following the termination of that person's membership in or on that body. However, Regulation 1.5.1 allows the Ethics Commission to approve an exception
If satisfied, that denial of that appointment would create a hardship for, in this case, the Tiverton Wastewater District. There is no definition of substantial hardship in the code. Therefore, determinations about whether a substantial hardship exists are made on a case-by-case basis, considering the totality of the circumstances presented. The petitioner joined the board in March of 2022. Since it was assembled in 2014, the board has hired 6 executive directors. Following the hiring and departure of 3 executive directors between 2014 and 2019, a 4th executive director was hired and worked for the district from June 3rd of 2019 through August 8th of 2022. The board's 5th executive director served from August 25th of 2022 until May 5th of this year. Now, that particular executive director had been a longtime municipal government employee who came out of retirement to help out, with the understanding that his engagement would be short-term. And the 6th and most recent executive director served for less than 2 months, from May 25th until July 20th of this year. To determine today whether a hardship to the district exists, if not allowed to hire the petitioner as its next executive director, let's look at several factors previously considered by the Ethics Commission in similar situations. The first is whether, after publicly advertising the position, there was a complete absence of applicants or a lack of qualified candidates to fill the position. Since the departure of the last executive director in July and the subsequent rejection of an offer of employment in mid-August by the sole candidate produced after the board's outreach to DEM, the board's advertisement of the executive director position with the Providence Journal, on Indeed.com, and on the district's website produced 15 applicants, only one of whom met the minimum requirements for an interview. Following that interview, the 3 interviewers unanimously concluded that that candidate was unqualified for the role of executive director. Additionally, the board's efforts in September of this year to fill the position with the assistance of the Rhode Island League of Cities and Towns, the New England Water Environment Association, the Rhode Island Clean Water Association, and the New England Interstate Water Pollution Control Commission produced not a single application. Following a 3-month search, the petitioner appears to be the only qualified candidate for the position. Now, the next factor we look at is whether the position requires very specific and unique skills and qualifications. The board chair cites the petitioner's background as a water quality scientist, his program and budget management experience, and his successful grant writing ability as very strong qualifications. Also, by necessity, Mr. Nemirovsky has become uniquely familiar with the responsibilities of the executive director, having stepped in on a number of occasions since July to exercise those responsibilities. And some examples include helping to fill the position of a second part-time bookkeeper for the district, fielding a number of questions from the board chair and staff engineer relative to RIDOT permitting procedures with which the petitioner is familiar because of his current employment as a scientist with that agency, and meeting with multiple subcontractors relative to the district's latest sewer expansion project, the final connections for which are now scheduled for November. And finally, whether this position has been vacant for a substantial period of time. We'll look at that. The executive director position has now been vacant for 3 months, which, in consideration of the looming November deadline for the completion of the Riverside Drive project, is substantial. I will note that the petitioner was last before the Ethics Commission on September 12th, at which time he sought an advisory opinion on this very issue. The staff's recommendation at that time was that the petitioner be prohibited from accepting the executive director position for a period of 1 year following his departure from the board. That recommendation was based in large part on the fact that as of that date, the search for the executive director had only been active for about 2 weeks and appeared to have consisted of the extension and rejection of an offer of employment to one candidate following an inquiry into the boot camp program coordinator at DEM. Following a split vote of 3-3 by the Ethics Commission that day, no advisory opinion issued, And the decision was made to allow the petitioner to return today without submitting a new request for an advisory opinion, so that his question could be reconsidered in anticipation of additional facts regarding the board's continued efforts to search for new executive director and any other developments which might assist the Ethics Commission with its determination. Now, some 8 weeks after the start of the search for the next executive director, 15 applications have been received and reviewed, leading to the interview of the sole potential hire, who was ultimately unanimously deemed unqualified for the position. Also, as mentioned earlier, following the September 12th Ethics Commission meeting, the board contacted those 4 professional organizations for assistance in finding someone, and those efforts produced no candidates. The passage of time, coupled with the increased efforts on the part of the board to find an executive director and that upcoming November deadline for the completion of the very important Riverside Drive sewer project, now aligns this situation much more closely with that of the petitioner in advisory opinion 2014-18 cited on page 5 of the draft, in which case a hardship exception was made to allow a member of the Fire Safety Code Board to accept appointment to serve as that board's executive director. The staff's recommendation today is that the petitioner be allowed to accept the position of executive director for the district, provided that he resigns from the board upon accepting that position, based upon a finding that a denial of such employment would create a substantial hardship for the Tiverton wastewater district. I'm happy to answer any questions or to defer to any of the gentlemen to my right.
Thank you. Mr. Nomrosky, Mr. Kendricks, and Mr. Petracca, any additions?
Nothing at this time.
Okay,
Just like to thank you all for your time and effort. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
thank you. Questions from the commission?
I have a question. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'll direct this to the gentleman in the middle. How's that?
Okay.
What's happened between the last time you were here and today in light of or regarding an urgency that may have occurred that would require this position to be filled immediately?
So,
Who can, anybody can answer, but the person who knows the best.
I mean, I'll defer to the board chair, but I would just say,
That's what I was.
Yes. So we have a lot of things going on right now. Since the last meeting, we redoubled our efforts to try to find an executive director. We have the Riverside Drive project that the attorney mentioned before. That's very urgent right now because it's near the end. The contractor is fighting to get it done within the timeline, and then we have all the cleanup of the project after that. And assessments. The residents have to be assessed, and there's collections, and there's obviously going to be issues with people either complaining about the bill or whatever. And so there's a lot of activity going on around the project. The other thing that's happening is that Tiverton is getting quite a bit of development activity in town. And there's some 13 projects or pending projects up for consideration. We're getting a lot of inquiries from developers on whether sewer is available, costs. We're doing plan reviews. We're having to hire consultants for plan reviews, et cetera. And it's just, we have that going on right now also. We have a grant from the state of Rhode Island that we're having to administer from now until April, where we have some additional monies. And we possibly will have some additional opportunities to get more people hooked up to the sewer by coming up with a grant program from the grant proceeds that we got from the state. So we may be able to get some people on sewer outside the current project. So that needs to be developed and looked at. And just stability. The board members have been kicking in to help, and it's just, you know, some people, half of them are working, half of us are retired. So just a lot going on.
The 4 new entities that will approach, if you will, can you identify them?
Sure. Rhode Island's League of Cities and Towns. You may know that organization. There's lots of town employees or town people that come from that group and participate in that group. So we reached out to them to advertise Rhode Island Clean Water Association. That's again normally wastewater people, and it's an organization that reaches out to smaller Rhode Island communities with wastewater issues. They have outlets that they have a newsletter, and they have, you know, just networking communications. We reached out to them. NUEPIC is a wastewater association that's regional, not just Rhode Island. And although they don't have a newsletter, they have people that reach out to a lot of small communities, wastewater communities. And so we reached out to them, and sent them our job description, and they circulated that. And NUEA, yeah. New England Water Environment Association. They're part of the National Water Environment Association, but NUEA is particular to New England. And they have a newsletter too, and we reached out and put our description in their newsletter, and also did some networking, and got nothing.
Has counsel for the commission been apprised of the request, the language in the request, as well as the response from these 4 entities?
Meaning myself?
Well, counsel for the commission.
Oh, yeah.
No,
No.
when we draft advisory opinions, they are based on representations of the petitioners, they are not investigations.
Any other questions? Hearing none, is there a motion to accept the staff's recommendations?
So moved.
There a second? Second, moved by Vice Chair Jones and seconded by Secretary Susie. Roll call vote. Commissioner Jones.
Aye.
Commissioner Strauss.
Aye.
Commissioner Centerini.
Aye.
Commissioner Peterson.
Aye.
Commissioner Susie.
Aye.
Commissioner Ritchie.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Great, thank you very much. Good
Thank
luck.
you.
Thank you
Good
very
luck
much.
to you and your.
Thank you.
Take care.
Good to see you again.
Too.
Better this time than last.
Take care, Nancy. See you. Good luck to you. You, I'll take care.
Yeah, I'll see you very soon, I'm sure.
The next signing is David D'Agostino.
Have a seat in your fingers. Welcome, Mr. D'Agostino.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Our petitioner is Situate's town moderator, which is a municipal elected position. He's asking whether he may accept, if offered, appointment by the Situate Town Council to serve the remainder of his late father's term as a member of the town council. As town moderator, the petitioner is responsible for maintaining order during Situate's annual and special financial town meetings. For all intents and purposes, he executes this role once a year. He is paid a stipend of $100 per meeting. The petitioner's father served continuously as a member of the Situate Town Council from 2006 until his passing this past July. Petitioner's father was last elected in November of 2022, and his unexpired 2-year term runs through December 31st of 2024. The petitioner was recently asked by a current member of the town council whether he would be interested in serving the remainder of his late father's term. Petitioner responded that it would be his honor to do so, provided that the town council accept his resignation as town moderator, effective concurrent with that appointment, and subject to a favorable opinion from the Ethics Commission. The applicable commission regulation here is 1.5.4, which states that no municipal elected official, while holding office and for a period of 1 year after leaving municipal office, shall seek or accept employment with any municipal agency in the municipality in which the official serves. The code specifically includes as employment service by an individual in any appointed state or municipal position. The regulation allows the Ethics Commission to authorize exceptions under circumstances where doing so would not create an appearance of impropriety. At issue is whether the petitioner's service on the town council for the remainder of his dad's term would constitute employment under the code. If so, the regulation would prohibit his acceptance of the appointment absent the authorization of an exception. The code specifically includes service by an individual in any appointed municipal position as employment. Here, in this unusual situation, the petitioner would be appointed to the town council, but to what is normally an elected position. To the extent that the petitioner would then be considered an appointed official, regulation 1.5.4 would apply, but to the extent that he would be considered an elected official, then the regulation would not apply. Ultimately, it doesn't really matter, because the facts here support, much to my relief, it does not really matter, because the facts support the authorization of an exception under Rule 1.5.4C. The unique circumstances here are the following. The petitioner's current elected position is not on the town council or the school committee, which are the common elective positions to which the municipal official revolving door regulation applies, but it's as the town moderator, a position with very narrow duties that are limited to maintaining order during infrequent town meetings. Also, the petitioner plans to resign from his position as the town moderator if selected to fill this vacancy. He has no role of authority in the selection of someone to fulfill the remainder of his late father's term, and the members of the Situate Town Council are not subordinates of the town moderator, and their duties are separate and apart from the town moderator. So it is the opinion of staff that it would not create an appearance of impropriety to authorize an exception in this particular revolving door regulation matter, and to allow the petitioner, if asked, to fulfill the remainder of his late father's term as a member of the Situate Town Council.
Mr. D'Agostino, you've heard the staff's recommendation. Do you have any questions or comments?
I don't, thank you.
Any questions, comments? Yeah. Is there a motion to accept the staff's recommendation?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Commissioner Canarini, seconded by Commissioner Jones. Roll call vote. Commissioner Jones?
Aye.
Commissioner Strauss?
Aye.
Commissioner Canarini?
Aye.
Commissioner Peterson?
Aye.
Commissioner Susie? Aye. Commissioner Ritchie?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Great, thank you very much. And the last sign-in is Karen Pinch.
This draft is in the top part of the reminders. Ms. Finch is the town administrator for the town of Richmond. She and her spouse are planning to build a home in South Kingstown and would like to seek a price quote from J.N. Jordan Plumbing for the completing of the plumbing and mechanical work on the new home. J.N. Jordan is owned by George Jordan, who is employed by Richmond as the zoning official and as the plumbing and mechanical inspector. Although the petitioner does not directly supervise the everyday work of Mr. Jordan, the town administrator under the town charter has the authority to discipline and suspend town employees. Given this set of facts, Ms. Pinch seeks guidance from the Ethics Commission regarding whether she and her spouse may hire J.N. Jordan. The code prohibits public officials from engaging in any financial transactions with subordinates over whom she exercises supervisory responsibility in the course of her public duties. This prohibition does not apply, however, if the financial transaction is in the normal course of a regular commercial business or occupation. Here, Mr. Jordan is the petitioner's subordinate. The petitioner and her spouse would like to request a quote from Mr. Jordan's and potentially hire Mr. Jordan's company to provide those services. However, those services that Mr. Jordan's company provides are regularly provided in the normal course of business. Accordingly, based on the petitioner's representations, prior advisory opinions issued, and the provisions of the code, it is the opinion of the staff that Ms. Finch is not prohibited from hiring J.N. Jordan, provided, however, that the petitioner does not receive any special discounts or preferential price based on her position as town administrator. Further, should the petitioner hire Mr. Jordan's company, she and Mr. Jordan will become business associates, so she should comply with all the provisions of the code that pertain to business associate relationship. Thank you. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Ms. Finch, you've heard the staff's analysis and recommendation. Do you have any comments, questions?
No, I don't. Thank you.
Any questions from the commission?
I have a question of staff council. Would it make a difference if the relationship were reversed, if Finch was the subordinate and Jordan was the boss?
So if the transaction is initiated by the subordinate, that's okay.
And the same rule about normal business would apply as well, right?
Yes.
Any other questions? Okay, is there a
And I
motion?
think there is, I'm sorry,
Go ahead.
there is an example actually in the advisory opinion. We had a prior advisory opinion issued where, those two prongs were applied. The transaction was initiated by a subordinate and also was in the normal course of business. Here, it's only one prong.
Is there a motion to accept the staff's recommendation? Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, moved by Commissioner Jones, seconded by Commissioner Ricci, roll call vote. Commissioner Jones?
Aye.
Commissioner Strauss?
Aye.
Commissioner Cederini?
Aye.
Commissioner Peterson?
Aye.
Commissioner Susie?
Aye.
Commissioner Ricci?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Thank you very much. Good luck with your project. Okay, I believe our last advisory opinion is Yesenia Rubio.
It is, and that's at tab E, and Ms. Rubio sends her apologies. She does own a coffee shop, but she owns and operates it, and a Tuesday morning at 9. It's all but impossible for her to be here, but she has asked that we proceed in her absence. The petitioner is a member of the Pawtucket City Council, which was elected last November. In her private capacity, she owns and operates Notes Coffee in Pawtucket, which opened in 2020. She's asking whether she may, in her private capacity, apply for and potentially receive loan funds from the Pawtucket Business Development Corporation, the PBDC, which is a private entity, and or American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA funds from the city of Pawtucket, given that the PBDC is funded at least in part by Pawtucket Community Development Block Grants, and ARPA funds are awarded by the city in which the petitioner serves. It is the recommendation of staff that the petitioner may be permitted to apply for and potentially receive both, and here's why. As to the loan funds from the PBDC, even though the loans are funded by city grant money, both the application process for obtaining those grant funds for the city and the distribution of those funds awarded to the city are handled exclusively by the mayor and his staff, the administration, collectively the administration. The city council has no role in either process. The petitioner is seeking to apply for a business loan in her private capacity as the owner of Notes Coffee and is in no position as a member of the city council to engage in official activity in that capacity that would impact or affect that application. Similarly, with regard to the ARPA grant money for which the petitioner would also like to apply, it is once again the administration, the mayor and his staff, that is vested with the authority to expend those funds at its discretion without the permission from or even input from the Pawtucket City Council. Once again, the petitioner is in no position as a member of the city council to take official action to affect her application. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Any questions? So I had a question about the relationship between the mayor and the council. And does the council appoint the mayor, review the mayor, reappoint the mayor, you know?
I believe the mayor is elected in Pawtucket.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Of course.
and then the city council, they kind of coexist.
Right, of course.
Right.
Right. Small town. Okay.
You might be thinking of an administrator, which is. appointed
Yeah,
by
I
the
was,
city
I
council.
was,
Yeah.
yeah, great.
I have a question. I'm sorry if I missed this in the opinion. So I understand that the city council has no authority over how the funds are distributed, but do they
Right.
have authority over granting funds to these entities? Like who?
No, the
approve budget?
administration takes care of all of it, the mayor and the staff.
Okay, so they don't get like a vote to like, okay, we're gonna allocate this much of our budget this year to the province. Okay,
No, in fact, I think that they received an email about the availability of them when the public found out as well.
Is there a motion to approve the staff's recommendations? Moved by Commissioner Susie, seconded by Commissioner Jones. Roll call vote, Commissioner Jones,
Aye.
Commissioner Strauss,
Aye.
Commissioner Centerini,
Aye.
Commissioner Peterson,
Aye.
Commissioner Susie. Aye. Commissioner Ritchie.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Great, thank you. That went more smoother than I thought, but it's a lot of advisory opinions for that. With unanimity. Yeah. All right, so I have a lot of reading to do before we can actually go to executive session, so bear with me. The next item is a motion to approve, the next item is a motion to go into executive session, to where we will take up a motion to approve the minutes of the executive session held on September 12, 2023, pursuant to Rhode Island General Laws 42, 46, 5A, 2, and 4. We will take up In re David Patton, complaint number 2023-6, pursuant to Rhode Island General Laws 42, 46, 5A, 2, and 4. We'll take up In re James E. Thorson, complaint number 2023-7, pursuant to Rhode Island General Laws 42, 46, 5A, 2, and 4. We will take up In re Daniel McKee, complaint number 2023-8, pursuant to Rhode Island General Laws 42, 46, 5A, 2, and 4. We will take up In re K. Joseph Shikarchi, complaint number 2023-3, pursuant to Rhode Island General Laws 42, 46, 5A, 2, and 4. We will also take up In re Frank Brown Jr., complaint number 2023-4, pursuant to Rhode Island General Laws 42, 46, 5A, 2, and 4. And In re Denise Brown, complaint number 2023-5, pursuant to Rhode Island General Laws 42, 46, 5A, 2, and 4. In re Richard Nassani, complaint number 2023-9, pursuant to Rhode Island General Laws 42, 46, 5A, 2, and 4. And In re Michael Calasante, complaint number 2023-10, pursuant to Rhode Island General Laws 42, 46, 5A, 2, and 4. And then we will have a motion to return to an open session. Is there a motion to go to executive session? I know.
So.
Is there a second? Second. Okay, roll call vote. Commissioner Jones.
Aye.
Commissioner Susie. Aye. Commissioner Centerini.
Aye.
Commissioner Peterson.
Aye.
Commissioner Susie.
Oh, did I say?
I'm sorry.
wrong person?
Commissioner Strauss.
Aye.
I mean, said that Commissioner and Chair votes aye. Commissioner Ritchie.
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Great. So we are going to executive session.
Right, and the meeting will close now for streaming and for executive session, and I will reopen the meeting when we return to open session. Bear with me.